You know, millions of older adults take vitamins every single day. It's a ritual, right? Something you do to protect your health. But what if that very habit, that simple act of swallowing a pill, could be silently raising your risk of a stroke overnight, with absolutely no warning? It's a pretty shocking thought, isn't it? But it's a question we really need to ask. Could a daily habit that you are convinced is healthy actually quietly be putting your brain in danger? So in this explainer, we are going to dive deep. We're going to look at just five very common vitamins that when you take them in high doses can pose a hidden risk. And we're talking about serious stuff: stroke, brain bleeds, even nerve damage, especially for adults over 60. We're going to cover vitamin D, E, B6, A, and niacin. Let's start with a story, because this is where it gets real. I want you to meet Mr. Walter. He's 74, a retired Navy vet, a disciplined guy who took his health very seriously. But one morning, his wife found him confused. His right arm was just limp. He'd had a stroke in his sleep. And the culprit? It was something he thought was protecting him. So what on earth happened? Well, it's like a dangerous chain reaction. You take a high dose of vitamin D. That causes way too much calcium to build up in your blood. Your body has to put that extra calcium somewhere, so it starts depositing it in your arteries, making them stiff, hard, and narrow. And that process, that stiffening, that can lead directly to a stroke. Now, let's just look at the numbers here, because they tell the story. For someone who isn't actually deficient, even 2,000 IU might be pushing it, but you can walk into any store and find bottles with 5,000 IU. And Mr. Walter, he was taking 10,000 IU every single day. You have to ask, why are these megadoses even for sale? It's really driven by this more is better idea in marketing. It's a huge reminder that a bigger number on a bottle doesn't mean better health. And listen, this is not just an isolated incident. Think about Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, 81 years old, a retired librarian. Her words, they're just heartbreaking. She said, "I just wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was doing harm." She found out about the hidden dangers of another really common supplement, vitamin E, the hard way. You see, vitamin E has this double edge. On one hand, yeah, it's an antioxidant, but on the other hand, it's also a natural blood thinner. Now, for someone who's already on medication like aspirin or warfarin, combining that with high doses of vitamin E, you're dramatically increasing the risk of a hemorrhagic stroke, which is a bleed inside the brain. And just look at this ratio. It's kind of wild. The recommended daily intake for an older adult is around 22 IU. 22. Yet the supplements you can grab right off the shelf, they contain anywhere from 400 to 1,000 IU. The risk is hiding right there, in that enormous gap. It's a gap that exists because we've all been told you can't get too much of a good thing. Turns out you can. This next story, it's just as powerful. Meet Mr. Harold Jenkins, 76. He thought he was taking a supplement to help his brain. And he said, "I just wanted to protect my brain. I didn't realize I was poisoning it." Let's talk about vitamin B6. What happened to Mr. Jenkins is something called vitamin B6 toxicity, and the key word here is preventable. It's a form of nerve damage where in high doses, B6 literally strips the protective coating from your nerves. Imagine stripping the plastic insulation off an electrical wire. That's what's happening. And it leads to numbness, terrible balance, weakness, all symptoms that are so easy to just write off as getting older. And how much was he taking? 200 milligrams. Just let that number sink in for a minute. That single dose is more than 10 times the recommended safe upper limit for seniors. A dose that high, taken day after day, it just slowly, silently built up in his system. The danger isn't just nerve damage, though. A lot of us think of vitamin A as the eyesight vitamin, right? But in high doses, it can have really serious neurological effects. Miss Dorothy Simmons, who's 79, she said it perfectly. "I thought I was doing something good for my body. I never imagined it could hurt my brain." Her high doses of vitamin A led to this absolutely terrifying condition called pseudotumor cerebri. The name literally means false brain tumor. Basically, too much vitamin A causes pressure to build up inside the skull. It mimics stroke symptoms, blurred vision, dizziness, and it can even cause permanent vision loss. You know, every one of these stories starts with a good intention. And our final example is no different. Mr. Frank Miller, 82 years old, had been taking niacin, which is vitamin B3 for his cholesterol. He told his doctor, "I didn't know I was gambling with my brain."
That one sentence, it just captures the whole risk perfectly.
So why is it a gamble? Well, high-dose niacin can cause what's called a yo-yo effect on your blood vessels. First, they expand really fast. That's what causes that classic red niacin flush. But then, in response, they snap back and constrict hard. This sudden tightening causes your blood pressure to spike, and that increases the risk of a TIA or a mini stroke. Okay, so after hearing all of these warnings, you are probably asking a very good question. If taking high-dose vitamins can be so risky, what's the alternative? And that's the right question to ask. The answer, believe it or not, is simpler than you might think. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Wilson. She traded a whole drawer full of supplement bottles for this simple breakfast: a boiled egg, half an avocado, a slice of whole grain toast, a handful of blueberries, and some almonds. That's it, real whole food. And you know what happened? Her dizziness went away, her blood pressure stabilized, and she said her mind just felt clearer. Her breakfast is the perfect example of building your health on a foundation of real nutrition. The best brain-protecting foods, they're not found in a bottle. They're things like leafy greens, fatty fish like salmon, berries, nuts and seeds, and whole grains. They provide all these nutrients in the balanced, complex way your body was actually designed to use them. So what's your safety plan? How can you protect yourself? It really comes down to 4 simple steps. Number 1, read your labels. Know the exact dosage you're taking. 2, question high doses. Remember, more is not always better. 3, talk to your doctor. This is so important, especially if you take any other medications. And 4, prioritize real food. And that brings us to the final and I think the most important question. This isn't about being afraid of vitamins. It's about respecting them, understanding them, and making smart choices. So I'll just leave you with this thought to chew on. Are you in the driver's seat of your own health?